for me, like vulnerability is the lifeblood of like creation. It's how I process everything. If I'm struggling with something, I just get it down on paper. I like to write it out because I feel like people connect with that the most. And it's a direction I'm really wanting to push my music into, is being very vulnerable and very honest. So whether that's dark stuff, whether that's really happy, whether that's like, I don't feel great about it, but I still want to sing about it. I'm really interested in pursuing that direction.
Welcome back to Misunderstood. I mean, we're kind of in the flow of things. It's kind of interesting. This is the second podcast I'm doing with someone I've gone to school with. The next one is another person I've gone to school with. It kind of feels like I'm going in the past, but it also kind of feels as though creativity is where I walked. It's where the people are. And today I'm here with someone who I think is going to give us quite an interesting insight into his life in the music industry. Someone who doesn't wear his artistry as much as I think he should. Someone who's really doing it. Luke Robinson, Chasing Sunday. How are you, bro?
Dude, I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on here. I'm so excited.
Yeah, bro. Thank you for coming on here. Thank you for saying yes to coming here. I always say to people, it's such a privilege when people say yes, because I'm always just like, it's always rough speaking about your art, one. But two, like, I think just showing the appreciation, showing the support, showing the love. I appreciate
easy
that,
yes,
bro.
man. Easy yes, man.
Bro, I want to talk about your music. I want to talk about you. I want to talk about your journey, your story. But it's funny. We started this conversation off the air about how long we've known each other.
Yeah, bro.
Yo, boy, years at this point.
Pre-primary school, so
Yeah.
so parks, bro. That's how long we've known each other.
Yeah, bro. 18 years, I think.
And you've always, the entire time, been taller than me. Like, there was never a phase where, like, we got even close to matching each other's heights.
Yeah, bro. But it also means we've watched each other in different ways, in different capacities. And also creatively, we've seen each other in different spaces. And I mean, from different plays, watching you in primary school, to then participating in plays in high school, to now being fully blown adults. Like, I guess my first question to you is, what's kept you creating all these years? Because you've been someone who's, since the earliest of me knowing you, who's always been interested in creativity. I'm young. You was interested in superheroes, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah. Still involved there.
Like, there's always been that thing, that desire, that draw to you that's been there. Where did that come from? What is it?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I've always just felt that drive, that passion towards just creating.
Yeah.
I feel almost, my dad uses the word itchy to like describe it. It's like, if I'm just laying around and doing nothing, I feel like compelled to go do something. And for a long time, that was like making things. Like, I really enjoy using my hands and like, but sort of around high school, it switched to mainly music. I started producing a lot when I was like 14, I think I started. And yeah, I fell in love with it. Like all the hours of the day went into that. All my thinking outside of school went into music and writing and just trying to just get better, I guess. But the compulsion's always been there. I think creativity is like this thing that like sits in your brain and then it like kind of escapes in different avenues. For me, music is one. I think film is another one that I'd love to escape into. And then, just creating things, I guess.
Take me through your early days. Who was the person who introduced you to this world of creativity? But also, what do you remember about it in its early days that you now feel like you've still been able to like cherish and carry through?
That's a good question. I don't know if do you remember Mr. Parker?
Yeah.
I'm sure you do, yeah. He really, really sort of introduced me to producing, actually. And then in lockdown, I contacted him. This is an old guitar teacher of mine. And I contacted him and I was like, I'm interested in music. I'd love to pursue it. And we did a couple online lessons. He taught me the ropes of FL Studio.
Wow.
And since then I've just been obsessed. Like, it's just taken over everything. But definitely him. Shout out, Mr. Parker. Yeah.
I mean, I find it so interesting, and I think the reason I find the places that we've been to, both being the Ridge and St. John's, is there's many people who have walked the musical route, and we saw it particularly with people who were there at the time. So like Pendor had gone and walked the journey.
Yeah, bro.
We're now seeing it in this like latter stage evolution. You, Kenzie, who we had on in the previous show, like those early days, those days where you were learning to count what a beat is, learning to read music. Were those easy for you? Was that like an intuitive thing? Like, did you pick up a guitar and go like, yeah, I know, rock star. Here I am. I know I'm going to do this. Or did you feel like there was a part of you that had to like really unpack what every moment was and learn how to master the thing?
I think probably the first. It came very easy. Like initially, like I felt, especially guitar. It feels very natural even today. Still, every time I pick it up, it just feels right. Singing as well was, I guess, just sort of natural. Obviously, we had lots of teachers and whatever guiding us through that. But I actually recently have started trying to struggle a bit more in it and try to get more in depth. I know basically no music theory. I'm pretty terrible at that. So I've been trying to teach myself and like actually dive into music and like what it is about music that excites me. And so that's been more of a recent thing. But initially, like music, creativity, all of that stuff came super easy. And maths was like just the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's, definitely that route was just easier. And I just found so much more enjoyment and relaxation in like coming home and playing guitar.
Yeah.
Versus coming home and like doing times tables.
So take me through your first moment of picking up an instrument, because of course now you're at a different end of that like evolutionary journey, right? You're saying like you're now walking through the theory. And I think it's always interesting like that evolution an artist wants to be able to really understand like the music beyond just like feel it, but to actually speak to it, give it a name, whatever the case may be. But in your early days, was it just you teaching yourself, or was there people teaching you? Like, what did it look like? And when did you go, okay, cool, this is actually like something I can do?
Yeah, I think definitely more on me. I had lots of obviously mentors and guidance, but I think the amount you can learn nowadays on your own is unbelievable. Everyone has access to a cheap DAW. Everyone's got access to YouTube and free tutorials. And like, it's amazing what you can actually teach yourself. Whereas in the past, you'd have to be so talented you were noticed. And then you were noticed enough to get funded to get an album put out. And then that album had to do well enough for you to stay signed at a label. Now you can do that all like on your laptop, upload it all for like really cheap. And I think that's amazing. I think the access to music is just, it's just exploded recently.
Yeah. I mean, interesting to that access point is the times when it was inaccessible, right? The early days. And oddly enough, when I was thinking about you and thinking about this conversation, I remember a YouTube video that you made of like, it was like an action movie of sorts.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it was only me now appreciating like how young you were at the time and just like the amount of time and energy you put into doing something like that. And I know at the time we were probably kids and I was probably going like, that's so cringe.
Yeah, but me too.
But now thinking about that, I've been like, you've done so many different things creatively that have contributed to this like human being and this like person that you've come now. What continued to find ways to access it even when it seemed inaccessible in those early days? Because like that drive is very different. Where most of us were just watching it. Most of us were like, it's really cool what they're doing on YouTube. I really want to do that. And it was nothing more than just us saying it. You always took it to like that nth degree of like, I'm actually going to do this thing.
Yeah, I think it was always like, I wanted to be the guy in the YouTube video. I loved watching it, but I always imagined myself behind the camera, I guess. I always imagined myself on the stage. Like when people are watching a play, I always thought, how would I do that? How would I do that better? How would I probably do it worse? but then, yeah, that just manifests, I guess. Like, you spend so much time doing that. You just like, what's stopping me? Like at that phase, I was really interested in doing YouTube probably as like a main thing. And I loved movies. And so I wanted to make movies and YouTube at the same time. And so I was like, well, nothing's stopping me. Like, you get all this free time as a kid. Like, I kind of just wanted to put all my passion into it. And I actually watched it recently. They're pretty terrible. Like, looking back, they're awful. But it's like, I'm so proud of them. Those steps, those like, they're so important to developing an artist's kind of brain. And like, and I still think nowadays, like I lie awake and I think like, how would this music video look? How would I do this? And that same kind of like thing is still going on. And that connects me to that childhood version of myself. Because I feel like I'm still just sort of dreaming, which is, yeah.
What you say there, dreaming, it's an interesting phrase because, and I guess I would ask it to the sense of, do you say you are dreaming because there's a part of you that realizes that the creative world, the creative industry is always going to be aspirational until it isn't? So until, I want to say the I made it moment, because everyone gets that so incorrect, but the I made it moment, right? Or is it dreaming because the space that you wander off to is just so hard to comprehend in this reality?
So that's a very interesting question. I think I almost want to turn that on you. It's like so many points I thought I would be like, oh, this is my like I made it point. Like I wanted to get like, for so long I was like, I just want 10,000 streams. That would be unbelievable. That would be such a cool goal. And then I reached it and I was like, cool, that's not enough. And I feel like it's probably the same for you. You probably set all these like I made it goals in your mind, and then they come and pass quite easily because you're consistent. And then it's like the goalposts keep shifting. And so I feel like I'm always aspiring. I'm always trying to, I'm never finished, I guess. And so you do stay in that dream state. You know what I mean?
I always say to people, I guess, in this world, the bad thing about me is that I don't dream enough. And the reason why I say that is this is the dreaming part of it, right?
Yeah.
I dream about the conversation and I get to have the conversation.
Yeah,
That's the end for me. What happens to it, how it is comprehended in the world, what it means, how it's viewed, that's for the world. But the person in me is fulfilled, right? Because I think it's the thing that sometimes shocks people. Like, we've known each other for 18 years, but we've rarely had conversations about your music. Like, it was a recent conversation that we had that sparked this entire world, sparked this entire thing, and then we get to sit down and I get to share a conversation with the world, and you get to share a story about how brilliant you are, and that for me is the dream done. Like, what it means for everyone else is completely everyone else's. But I do think what I think I do ask of you now is, you have done the dream in ways people haven't. You know, the one thing I always laugh at, and this is going to sound very bad, but you know when Spotify does the less than 1,000 streams thing?
Yeah.
I think they shouldn't. Like, it just looks rough.
Yeah, like,
right?
why? Like
why?
why are we giving me less than you don't have to do that.
Like,
you know
just say, like, just don't put the stream number.
Just
like,
nothing would be great.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And in preparing, of course, I was going through your Spotify and I was just like, geez, bro. Like, I always say for most people, it's probably seeing that less than 1,000 thing go away. But then, as you said, you hit 10,000,
yeah,
you hit 20,000, then you hit 30,000. And then you still go, there's more.
Yeah.
Where do you place yourself amongst the stream, but also where is your North Star for Chasing Sunday?
I'm a very small artist. Like, in the grand scheme of things, for me, I'm very small. In my world, I feel quite big. And if people know me, they'll probably know my music, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the extent of it. And I'm a pretty bad promoter, which is why I'm coming on this podcast and having this great conversation. But I feel like I've spent a lot of time obviously juggling uni and now doing music, and it's hard to sort of balance those two things. But for about 2 years now, I've been working solidly on an album, and I feel like after that drops, there's going to be a change, a signal shift for me. I'm really proud of all the work, and yeah, I feel so small right now. I'm so fortunate to be in the position I am as a smaller artist, but I'm really, really excited for the future. I think this is really not only just the beginning. This is like pre-beginning. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, small artist is very interesting, and the reason why I say this is that there was a time everyone was singing a song, like people that knew you, and
Yeah.
walk me through what that moment feels like of beyond just creating a song, going, people are singing my song.
It's the coolest thing ever, bro.
People are knowingly doing the thing and going, I've done something that is so cool, so valuable. But also, what is that feeling like when you go, oh, this is like now something that people are catching on to?
It's really cool. It's so like, I mean, I released my first song, I think, the sort of middle of matric. And I was terrified, like being in that school environment and being so vulnerable and putting something like that out there. Like I'd been working on it the whole year alone in my room. Every late night was like dedicated to like trying to get this vocal right or figuring this thing out. And I mixed and mastered it all on my own, and I dropped it, and I was just terrified. Like I didn't know the reception could go any way. And especially in an all boys high school, like the vulnerability is very difficult, I think. But the reception was like really good, and it really sparked in me this desire to keep people listening, and just, you know, having made something in my room so privately, and to have done it like all on my own, and have people outside of that singing the melody that I did, just like it blows my mind still. And yeah, it's like the biggest compliment you can give a musician. Like I'll play now on the digs and I'll hear them like humming a melody that I've been working on. And I'm like, okay, I know that's a good song. I know that's a good one. But even that is so cool, because it's just like, I don't know, whatever's inside here is catching on. And that's the coolest feeling ever as a creative person.
Well, yeah, bro, you're doing it, bro. I don't know. I guess there's something interesting that you say, and I've never actually thought of it, and it's probably because of how I conceptualize my spaces in my past. But vulnerability and art for you, never did I think of it as an expression, but also a necessarily outlet.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And I'm curious then, for you, being in all boys schools for all of your schooling career.
Yeah.
Right. How did it feel, firstly, one, trying to create in those spaces, but two, performing in those spaces? Because I think, and I'll only share this much, that I think by the time we did in matric, there was a lot of confidence. There was an ability to be like, we're doing it.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
I don't necessarily always feel like you could have felt like that at 13, 12, 11. So, yeah.
I think it's also a great question. For me, like vulnerability is the lifeblood of like creation. It's how I process everything. If I'm struggling with something, I just get it down on paper. I like to write it out, because I feel like people connect with that the most. And it's a direction I'm really wanting to push my music into, is being very vulnerable and very honest. So whether that's dark stuff, whether that's really happy, whether that's like, I don't feel great about it, but I still want to sing about it. I'm really interested in pursuing that direction. And then with, you know, being in an all boys environment, like, I think the people that you surround yourself with is unbelievably important. And I mean, I've got an amazing group, a solid core friendship group that have been supportive from day one. And I kind of felt like it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, because these guys kind of will always uplift me. And I mean, I'm living with them, and it's to this day, which is amazing and rare. And I think just having some supporter base and having them go, dude, this is great. We want more of this, and being able to share a little bit and get their real feedback without the fear of like, oh, that's cringe, or like, oh, we don't like that. That it's just amazing. It's necessary.
Yeah, bro. And I don't know. I want to give a bit of light to the people around you, because of course I know them and I've got love for them as well.
Yes, sir.
What does that community mean to you in your creative process? Because those are probably the first ears, the first eyes, the first of everything in some sense, but not the first in every sense, because of course you still control the process. You control how much feedback you take or you don't take, but particularly thinking about them and particularly thinking about that space, how has that space contributed to your creativity, if it does?
Well, the first like real eyes and ears were always my parents. Like I was producing for the first part of my life in lockdown, so I had all this time to kind of dedicate to it. And I really picked up sort of guitar, and I started teaching myself drums and bass, and learning obviously the ropes of like of a DAW and like production, and I had all this free time and space, and also a family lockdown with me. And so I was making a lot of music and being incredibly noisy, and like, the feedback was more like, it was loud, but it was pleasant this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was great. Like my dad and my mom are huge supporters. My dad's always loved listening to my music, which has been a great motivator for me. He would, I mean, geez, I listen back to some of the stuff I used to play him, and I just cringe because it's so terrible. But I was so excited, and I just wanted some ears. I wanted some kind of like a sounding board, I guess. And he would just sit and like, he'd be like, it's great. Or he'd be like, I don't get it, but keep going.
Yeah.
And yeah, without that, I mean, I don't think I'd be here. And then with friends as well, it's like, because obviously your friends are going to be the first person to tell you that's like, dude, like, no, that doesn't work. Like if you're wearing an ugly shirt or like whatever.
Yeah.
But all of them have from day dot been so supportive. And nowadays, like I'm in the digs with, there's 5 guys, and all of us are quite energetic, and quite a few of us are creative. So if I'm making in my room and they feel like compelled, sometimes they'll just come lie on my bed, give me inputs. And that's amazing. I couldn't ask for a better like situation there, because creating alone is very isolating.
Yeah.
And when you don't have people to bounce off of, then I feel like your music becomes just tame.
Tameness. It's interesting because the way you speak about your music, but also the way you create your music, is almost overly intentional. And the reason why I would say this is because for people who don't know you, they wouldn't know how many cuts, edits, retakes you make. And I think it then results in some of the most brilliant songs and things that are catchy. And I think I understand why, right? Like mad scientist-esque, right?
Yeah.
Where I'm going to keep chipping away at this thing until eventually we're going to find a solution. Why is your process so refined? And the reason I ask this is because there's so many people who can make music in 5 minutes. And there's so many people who do make music in 5 minutes. Punch it in AI, find a loop, put the same loop, cut a sample, cut the sample. But there's something about you that sits with it that almost goes beyond this being an artistry, a masterpiece, that I want every moment to feel like I was there with you. Every moment was thought through, and it's not necessarily something that just goes away and happens. Where does that come from? But also, why create in that particular way?
Yeah, I think I'm a bit of a perfectionist, kind of only really in my creative endeavors. I I really, really want what I make and produce to be top quality. I've never wanted to put something out into the world that I'm not proud of. And I can say that I'm proud of everything I've produced and put out there. But I think often my perfectionism can be like it's a double-edged sword. There's this, I mean, I spend so much time, as you say, like one line of a song can take like 3 days of just working on almost every individual word. And that's draining and that's super time consuming. And when you're doing it all alone, you start to lose track of like the purpose and like the grand scheme of the song. But I think for me, it's like, I just want to be proud of what I make. And I'm never going to put something out there that I'm not proud of. And that goes for like social media posts. That goes for like the smallest little things. And in so many ways that holds me back because I need to just be making disposable stuff all the time. But I really do find so much comfort in making something that I want to listen to and making stuff that would excite people like me, and people who really kind of almost expect a higher level of quality just because you're on your own, just because you're producing alone, or it doesn't mean it doesn't have to be good stuff.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
I'm curious as into what your inspirations were growing up and now, because there's almost a higher degree of like artistry that you have. It's almost like fine art in the way in which you
I would not say that, but thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No, it's true. Look, I don't, and I always say this to people. It's like, I don't ever sit with people who are willing to do the same process over and over again. And people who do are a very small percentage.
Yeah.
But people who do and get a good output of it are an even smaller percentage. And as I said, it wasn't anything, and people will think this is a lie or think I'm crazy, but literally it was us talking about your music in a car, me sitting in your room, you going play, and me going, there's no ways. There's absolutely no ways. There's no ways. The person that's in front of me has created this thing. And then once again today with Kilo in the background, he goes, I play your music. The first thing he goes is, this is not you.
Yeah. I get that a lot. In almost every Uber ride, they go, what are you doing? I'm like, I make music. I play it and they go, that's not you.
So that's why I'm saying it. There's almost, when somebody separates the art from the artist in a good sense, because people, it's almost an inability to say that this thing of such high quality can be ascribed to the person in front of me. And that happens time and time again, constantly.
Yeah.
And that for me, I'm just like, even being at that point, I'm just like, yeah, bro. That's crazy. Because I think, and it's a thing that sometimes I think we forget, and I think it's a thing that sometimes we always forget as well as people who create, is that there's so many people who create and don't do well. There's so many people who've spent the same amount of time and haven't got to the same point, don't have the same ability to say they can utilize the same tools. And the few who do, I'm more than appreciative of. I'm like, you're really, really doing it. And that for me is like something that I'll like never lose sight of and like never lose the light of. But I guess to the perfection, formulation, creation, Chasing Sunday. Why? Where? How?
I knew I get asked this question a lot, and I still haven't thought of a good answer.
Like, beyond the name, what motivated the next step to say that I'm moving away from Luke Robinson? I think at some point you were Luke John. If there's something in my head that says you were Luke John.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, it's I definitely wanted to create an artist persona. I think the person I am day to day is very relaxed and very accommodating. I think that's why a lot of people go, that's not you. because I don't think I present myself as an artist in a lot of ways.
Yes.
So I from the very beginning, from the get-go, was like, I need to create a separation between who I am and the music I'm creating, because I think it's really important to do that, because then I can channel other energy through this creative outlet without letting it feel like it's me. And it's also a thing of, if I'm getting enormous criticism, or if I'm struggling, there's a separation that I can go, it's not necessarily me, it's a persona, it's a stage presence, it's not who I am at the core. And I think a lot of musicians who, they use their name, they're very vulnerable, they're very, intentional with that, struggle a lot with people feeling like they know them very well, and people having this parasocial dynamic with them. And I think with a name like Chasing Sunday, it's quite hard to almost not necessarily humanize, but like it very much feels like a persona, like an artist caricature almost. And that's what I really wanted from the beginning. I don't know why I chose the name. It just sounded cool. I hate that that's the response I keep giving people. Like, I think it just sounded cool. There is, if I think about it, there's probably like some metaphorical, like, we all chasing the end of the week, we all chasing Sunday, but when Sunday comes, it's always a disappointment because Monday's coming next. So there's like, I think maybe that could tie to it. And because there's a bittersweet element to a lot of my music that's like, we progressing forward, we chasing this, like, this final end goal, that this happiness. But when you arrive there, it's never like as fulfilling as you think it'll be. Which is just, I made that up right now, but I'm gonna start using that one actually. It's a lot better than it just sounds cool.
It does sound cool, bro. I think, like, when I first heard the name Chasing Sunday, I was like, what? And then I went, oh, it's Luke. And I went, oh, this is cool.
Makes sense, yeah.
But I think it's all of what I've always thought you to be, right? Sundays in every sense of caravans, good music, like surfing, like on the beach, like doing your thing, bro. Like somebody said, is that chasing a Sunday? I'd be like, yeah. That's the vibe, that's the imagery, that's the thing. But it's interesting that you've said that you've created kind of already protection mechanisms.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Keep yourself separate from your art, but also to keep the art separate from you. I'm then curious as into when you then take this out into the world, when you go perform as Chasing Sunday, is there like a mentality shift? Like, do you have to step into someone? Like, is there a different persona? Is there different energy characteristics that you're giving this person? But also when you're creating, where are you drawing from? Like, who's coming forward first? Is Luke coming forward first? Is Chasing Sunday coming forward? Or are they both embodied in the same person and they speak to the music differently?
I think to speak about performance, I found it easy to act throughout my life. Like, I loved acting. I did a year of drama school, which I stopped. I found it really easy to embody someone else because it wasn't necessarily me on the stage at my rawest and sort of most vulnerable. So if I could create a character, I could go up on stage, I could present. It was like, it's really easy for me. And initially when I started live performance, I really struggled with feeling very, very watched, and like every sort of, singing and playing guitars is it's just you, and you feel like all your mistakes really compound, and I would almost go into myself. And when I started the sort of Chasing Sunday project, I was like, I need a way to act on stage. I need a way to separate me from this like creative process. So then it became like I could step into a character in a lot of ways. I could just be more outgoing. I could be like bigger, because I wasn't me, I wasn't being judged for me. I was chasing Sunday. And it made it so much easier, and performance just got so much easier. And then you start like I wear a headband when I perform, mainly to keep sweat out of my face. But also because it's like, then it separates and it creates a thing where I can come off stage and just be like chill again. I don't have to be on all the time. And then with where it comes from, I mean, it's funny because it's very, very personal, the music. I'm not, but then I'm almost conveying it through this other character, which is really interesting. I've never thought about that. I think the two are becoming a lot closer now. I think for a long time I was trying to safeguard the Chasing Sunday thing and like be very much a character. I'm trying to, within the music as well, not really appeal to as broad of a demographic. I'm trying to, maybe make it a bit more personal. And I think I'm trying to connect a lot more with people, which is why I'm doing this. It's why I'm very excited about the future of my music.
What do you think's brought about that evolution? Because I don't know. I think like unique and innate to that in the, I don't know, closing down your demographic. There's something in you that's also saying that like I'm okay with not being liked and I'm okay with not being for everyone, and I'm more certain about who I am for or who I am, and that will be certain for who that is for and who that isn't for.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think's brought about that change?
I think if you listen to my music that's out on Spotify now, it's very, very like broadly applicable. And I was trying very hard to get numbers and like to get myself heard. And I'm still proud of everything I've made, and I still stand by it. But in doing that, I think it's almost too broad, and it's almost hard to capture a fan base or like a group of people when it's very easily listenable. And I kind of just got bored with it. I got bored with trying to make very applicable music. Kenzie, is a huge inspiration of mine, a very good friend of both of ours.
Yeah.
And, he'd come to my studio and he'd hear the stuff I was working on, like in the sidelines and like even some of like the hip hop stuff I'm doing. And he's like, dude, that's really cool. Do that. Like, make that your thing. Isolate it a bit. Make your music less applicable. And I think a lot more people will find it enjoyable. And so that's what I'm trying to do with this album, man. It's going to be, there's like psychedelic stuff, there's rock, there's like a piano ballad. I'm trying to like really experiment, not put myself in a box.
Yeah. It is interesting because I think what I also find so true, and I think it's the thing that sometimes I mistake as well for people who create, is assuming that they have the confidence to do the things that are true to them all the time. Because I think we do it some of the time always. That's like the one thing that is creativity, right? Any expression is innately us. But I rarely ever consider how sometimes the things that are the most innate to us, we still don't always feel like we have the full confidence, the full breath, the full ability to like give it to the world, because either we think the world will reward us more if we hide back less, or the other thing is that sometimes we don't have the confidence to give the world a different thing, right?
Yeah.
And to be a different package, a different world, in a different size, different messaging, different thinking. Between your first drop being literally mid-matric, 3 years later, and of course you said the messaging is going to be changing in this upcoming album. You say psychedelics, rock. You're speaking to what life is experiencing and your life experience. How do you feel that's going to play into this album? But also, what do you think at the moment has been the thing that's been like the messaging driving the album as you've been building it?
Yeah, I think authenticity has been the biggest driver for this. Every time I sit down, I'm like, don't make because you want it to be good. Make because, you know, it feels real and it comes from a real place. And I've curated it down now over, as you say, 3 years of just experimenting with different, like the song I played you earlier. Maybe we can put a little snippet in here somewhere. That was in first year that I first laid the track down.
No ways, bro.
Yeah, man. First year. Now I'm in third year, and it's like at a place where I'm happy. I'm excited about the direction, and it's been like that for a lot of my music, where I like to sit with it and I like to, let my life experience kind of inform where it goes. Yeah. And you can definitely. I mean, there's going to be a huge shift, which I'm really excited about. But if you hear the music that I've made, you can pinpoint my mood and my outlook on life. And I think this album is definitely just almost trying to portray a slightly more mature image, hopefully. Not necessarily fully mature, of course. But like, I guess a bit more grown. I think there's a lot more struggle in this album, and I think there's a lot more like real raw emotions that I'm excited about conveying. And I'm trying to tell kind of a story throughout it, which I'm excited. I love albums that are, you sit down and you listen from top to bottom and you get an idea of what the artist was trying to do, instead of like, you know, a bunch of just collected songs together. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm trying to make something that I would listen to on the regular and that I'm really proud of.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's been the difference for me.
I don't know, this might seem a bit left field, but I'll ask you anyway, is why don't you feel the pressure to play the artist game? And what I mean by this is, speak to young artists now, speak to young creators now. Everyone believes you have to be in it, right? When I mean be in it, post every day, update your timeline, drop songs whenever, show snippets. By the end of your week, you've posted like 30 times.
Yeah.
And here you are going, I've been making a song for 3 years. like timeline or not, like I've got mine.
Like at some point I need to drop it, right? Like
yeah, but like also the confidence to go, I don't have to do it. Like that's the thing that's like very interesting. Like where does that come from? But also, why do you not feel the pressure when everyone else thinks you have to do it that way? To either get big or whatever, and you're just like, no, I'm gonna get my streams, perform when I can perform, and when I can't, I'm gonna be myself, and I'm gonna keep paying attention to the craft.
I think the current music industry is very disposable. I think, especially with the rise of TikTok, and everyone's searching for a viral sound in their music. Everyone's trying to capture a very fleeting moment on social media. And I tried, and you can go through my pages and you can see that. And I just never felt comfortable doing it. And I always wanted to make my music speak for itself. I didn't want to have to, promote it like, as you say, like everyday posting. And to be completely honest with you, I'm really bad at it. Just like naturally, I'm not good at like the whole social media stuff. And I think because I'm not, I really, really want to perfect the sound, perfect the craft, so that when it's out there, it's not like, okay, it captures a cool moment on TikTok for a couple minutes. It's a viral sound. It's like people dance to it and it's over. I kind of want my music to have impact and not necessarily feel as just disposable as the current industry feels. I don't want it to be confined to a TikTok, I guess.
It's interesting because you said authenticity is the messaging of the album, and to some degree, I guess, and I'm struggling to find the word, because the word I'm thinking about is legacy, but legacy is not the correct word. I don't know. I think just giving it life, being able to expand beyond its launch date, to be given the lifeline, the run through time, the ability to be a good piece of art that lasts the test of time.
Yeah, that's the one.
It seems like you are a lot more certain and a lot more confident in, and almost a lot more appreciative of yourself, knowing that if there is ever a point for you to create something, at least now, it must be something that stands the test of time. And I'm wondering, when you think about your journey and you think about how much you've done now, if someone was to ask you what you make of these last 3 years, if they were the test of time, what's been your biggest takeaway from it? But also, what's been the biggest struggle that people haven't seen in trying to build a catalog that can run that time period?
Yeah. I guess the biggest struggle for me has been balancing varsity and the music.
Yeah.
I think a lot of my unproductivity towards music just comes from having to do school.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but it's also kind of a motivator in a way. Because I don't know, if I didn't have varsity, it's almost like if I had all that free time, I don't know, I probably wouldn't use it as effectively. Yeah. But yeah, the main struggle has definitely been just consistently having to keep up with academics, and I feel like creativity and academics can really be at odds with each other, because for some reason, whenever I need to do exams and I have a test week coming up, it's like that's when I'm the most creative. That's all of a sudden I'm like wanting to practice guitar every day. It's like, so yeah, balancing those two has been tough. But a lot of the frustration from varsity, the relationships, all that's come in and out of my life have, I feel like, really contributed to the music in a lot of ways, and I'm grateful for it. You know, I feel like it's just enhanced everything, and I think as an artist, the more you go through, the more you experience, the more applicable your music is. The more, whether you're a painter, whether you're a podcaster, whatever your art form is, the more life experience you have, the more stuff you go through, the more you have to draw on.
Yeah, the wider your perspective, it's an insane thing. But I think I do ask this in your journey, which is to say, do you always feel like you've been at odds between the student and the artist?
Yeah, I love academics. It's I love what I'm doing philosophy, and I'm doing English literature, and I'm studying
more words, more
just
more
writing.
thoughts,
It's nonstop,
yeah.
And it's also journalism and a bit of religion as well. And it's all stuff I'm really interested in, and I chose them specifically because I felt like it would enhance my writing ability with music, and especially philosophy and questioning and really asking deep questions of myself and like what I want out of my future and my career. I feel like it's really expanded my mind. And with English, obviously, just reading a lot more, having to doing a lot of poetry actually has been really, really helpful. But I think I've always enjoyed an academic space. And it can be really hard for me to put either one down and say like, okay, today I'm switching off, I'm just doing music and I'm taking it easy. Or like, today I need to lock in, but music's right there and it's like calling me. And oftentimes there's a struggle between those two. So I'm excited to finish studying so I can really sort of commit to the music. But I feel like I'll always be studying. I'm just interested in so much. And I just want to keep learning, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, what is next now? Because, I mean, you're at the end of your academic journey.
Well, I got to pass.
Fair.
Let's finish that first.
But now you're at that crossroads, right, where it's pursue a career and whatever that career is, and or art. Have you made that decision? Or is that something that's like on your mind at the moment? Like, where are you with that like pursuit overall?
Yeah, it's kind of it seems like a crossroad, but the one fork of the crossroad is philosophy and English, and it's not exactly like a stable future career path.
Yeah.
And the other road is music, which I'm like obsessed with and passionate about. So for me, it's a pretty easy choice, but difficult in the sense that it's just unknown.
Yes.
I'm stepping into a space that's got no deadlines, has got no sort of boss telling me what I've got to, when I have to produce, when I have to put stuff out. I've got no structure and almost steps of progression. Like, I'm not going into a corporate space where I can just get promoted and move up.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fear that comes with that. And I think it deters most people who are interested in the arts because it's just too unknown.
The uncertainty is rough, but beyond the uncertainty being rough is that you're never really ever given certainty. Like, even when you do sign a deal, then you're stressing about paying back the deal if you've taken
100%.
like an advance.
Yeah.
Even if you eventually finish your deal, then you're stressing about like your next deal.
What's next?
And it's just like, I think it is an interesting one because it's one of those things that I've been hearing a lot of about, like, how much struggle are you willing to deal with? And it's like a question I've been asking myself. And I think it's the same for like every creative has to ask themselves of like, how much struggle am I willing to struggle before you make it? But then also there's like the other end of like, eventually I'll make it. Eventually it'll happen. Eventually it'll, and I don't know how to balance those two timelines against each other.
Oh, it's tough. It's just unknown.
Exactly.
It's just, and it's scary. And yeah, I guess for me, I've just never had a plan B.
Fair.
And definitely now I'm sort of sitting at possibly like the end of my studying and I'm like, okay, cool. I love this music thing. I want to pursue it. But like, what is the structure? What is and especially someone like me who I take my time and I'm a perfectionist in a lot of capacities and I do everything myself. There's definitely a huge element of like, you know, what is next? But for me, what's so exciting is it's just up to me, you know? It's not, I don't enjoy authority. Like, I've never liked being told what to do.
Yeah.
Given full creative freedom with my, you know, future career within music is like one of the most exciting things I could ever ask for. And yeah, it just keeps me motivated, keeps me out of bed, keeps me really wanting to make music that's good and that people want to listen to. And yeah, I suppose not really having an easy fallback in any sort of, I would say, not normal capacity, but conventional capacity. It's both motivating and terrifying, but those two things kind of push each other. It's so scary that it's like, I got to go work. Yeah.
I mean, it'll be interesting because I guess my two questions then is, as you said, there is no timeline for what this life looks like. What is the defining factor for you over the next few years, and what do you hope it to be? What is next? But I think beyond that is, where do you hope this to be in terms of scale, in terms of size? Like, what is the aspiration? If somebody says Chasing Sunday, when you think about it and you dream about it in your little spaces, and I've heard people don't like sharing their dreams. That's like a common thing on this podcast. So if you don't want to share your dreams,
no, man, that's this whole point.
But like, yeah, there's now the uncertainty, but then there's also matching that uncertainty with your own fears, as you said, dreams, aspirations. So yeah,
I think I don't necessarily have like a goal or like a set place I want to be in X amount of years. I'm not really good at sort of future planning like that.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted a global appeal. So I feel like what a lot of people do, especially South African musicians, is they market themselves as a South African musician. And they're unbelievable South African musicians. But the moment there's that little clause at the beginning,
Africa.
South African, it almost, from a Western perspective, really diminishes
everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
And it's also like, you're a musician. You aren't defined by where the music comes from. But it's this thing that we do here, and in all art, you're a South African dancer. You're a South African playwright. You're not necessarily a playwright. It's almost like you're putting yourself up against this Western standard of like, this is what good art is. And I've always felt like I never want to necessarily be defined by just where the music comes from. Obviously, it's an enormously important factor, and I love supporting local music, and it's the lifeblood of the music industry in the country. But I've wanted to expand that. I've always wanted people to go, oh, he's South African, not that's a South African musician. I don't know if that makes sense. I think people, for me, I don't hope to be global. I want to be recognized everywhere, I guess. I guess that's I want to be recognized everywhere. Just obviously, I mean, all artists do. That's really important. But also, I want to be recognized outside of home and outside of just, within the South African space, because I think it's just limiting.
Yeah, there's an interesting saying someone used to say to me, which was, think global, create local, which encompasses what you're saying, right? Many people become limited by the nature, factor, way, or capacity, which is South Africa. And I think you're right. And I think even to some degree, it's like, oddly enough, you can get encapsulated and trapped in that to the point where you start creating just for South Africans.
Yeah. You just market for them as well.
Exactly. And so I hear it and I understand it completely, because it also means that you're aware of like where you are going and what you want to do it for and where you want to go and how you want to get there. And as you said, you're on the journey, you're on the route, because bro, like I keep saying, but I keep doing this. I keep hearing people's albums before they come out, and then I keep telling everyone, you're going to hear it eventually.
And there's just no timeline. Sorry about that. I'll come back on when it's released.
What do you hope to share about your album in its 3-year journey? And I don't know, what message do you want people to potentially look for there?
That's great question. Probably should have thought about that before I came on here. I guess I want people to be open-minded for the album. If they like my previous stuff, it's different. It's very different, and it's quite challenging at times. It's not speaking about easy sort of topics. It's not love songs. It's not breakup songs. It's like it's covering a range of stuff that I'm interested in. So I guess just open-mindedness. The album's going to be called Seasonal Progression. So it's for me, the weather and it really affects my mood.
In this damn city.
Here in Cape Town. And actually, I started writing it in first year thinking like, jeepers, I am so like affected by this weather. And it's kind of follows a seasonal approach.
Wow.
So there's a lighter sort of summery songs, and then sort of more winter songs, and then transitional kind of songs. But the whole idea is like, I'm almost led by the weather in my thinking, and it's me recognizing that and trying to get out of that a bit is writing this album. And just recognizing that and going, when I'm in the tough times, it's like, dude, you haven't seen the sun in like 2 weeks, so it's not necessarily all doom and gloom.
Yeah.
So yeah, that, and I hope people are excited. I hope people enjoyed this.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, bro, anytime. Thank you so much for having me on, dude. It's an honor. It's so cool to watch where you've come from as well, man. Just from my perspective.
Oh, bro. I always, I think, and I think I'll say this oddly enough. I think I wrestle where I come from, because I think it's both a bittersweet journey for me, but thank you. It means a lot. And
of course, bro.
Bro, to the person that you've become, to the art that you're making, to the journey that you're riding, I wish you the absolute best, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
You keep doing it, and you keep showing that, like, sometimes all you need is time, bro. Time to just sit with something and work at it and keep chipping away at it until you get there. But yeah, bro, keep killing it.
Thank you, man. Likewise, bro.
Keep doing your thing, and tell people Chasing Sunday is a cool name, bro. It is a cool name.
Oh yeah,
bro.
it is a cool name. I stand by that.
That's all it's been, bro.
If you take anything away from today, it's a cool name.
It's beyond a cool name. It's an emerging brand. It's an emerging artist. It is.
Yeah, bro. Watch the space.
It's the future of creativity, bro. And as I said, you're creating fine art, bro. And I truthfully mean that, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
But to the people out there, to the people if you've gotten this far, thank you very much. As always, Mondays we here. I know I missed a Monday like recently, but we're trying to be here every Monday. And yeah, this has been Misunderstood.